Have you ever wondered how a single law could shake the very backbone of New York City's economy? Welcome to the reality of the recently passed rent stabilization law, a decision that's causing ripples through the financial world. Imagine being a bank or a hedge fund investing heavily in New York City's rent-stabilized apartments, only to find your investments sinking like a stone. Take the New York Community Bank, a stalwart of the city's financial landscape. In the past year, the bank's stock has taken a nosedive, dropping by nearly 70%. That's right, shares that were once worth $10 are now barely scraping by at $3. The reason? This new law caps rents in stabilized apartments, putting a halt to the previous 20% increase landlords could impose when a tenant left. Now, many of these investments are unprofitable, leaving banks and hedge funds in a precarious position. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. Let's dive deeper into the aftermath of this law. Opening. So, what has caused such a significant drop in stock prices? Well, the answer lies in the intricate details of the new rent stabilization law, passed by the New York City Council. This law, while seemingly beneficial to tenants, has had a profound impact on the financial landscape of New York City. Here's the thing. Rent-stabilized apartments in the city have a capped rent, making them more affordable for the city's residents. Before this law, landlords had the freedom to increase rent by 20% whenever a tenant moved out. This allowed for a healthy return on their investments. However, the new law now restricts any rent increases, leaving many banks and hedge funds with investments that are no longer as profitable as they once were. But that's not all. The financial implications of this law are compounded by other costs associated with owning property. High interest rates, homeowners association fees, insurance premiums, and property taxes all add to the financial burden. In some cases, these costs are so high that they cause some rent-stabilized units to lose money, despite receiving monthly rent from tenants. It's like a domino effect. The new law knocks down the first piece, causing a chain reaction that impacts the entire financial ecosystem. Banks and hedge funds, which previously saw real estate as a lucrative investment, are now grappling with the reality of unprofitable investments. And this shift isn't just affecting the big players, it's also influencing the decisions of individual investors, who are now rethinking their strategies. The extreme shift in favor of tenants by the NYC Council has deterred large investors, causing a ripple effect that extends to the broader real estate market. Now, with the scales heavily tipped in favor of tenants and the financial landscape of New York City significantly altered, large investors are beginning to question their future in the city's real estate market. Closing. With the scales now heavily tipped in favor of tenants, large investors are starting to rethink their strategies. The aftermath of the law has been nothing short of a financial whirlwind. With the New York City Council's extreme shift in favor of tenants, big banks and hedge funds have found their investments in rent-stabilized apartments to be less than profitable. Imagine being in the shoes of these investors. You've poured your resources into what once seemed like a surefire bet. But now, with the rent caps firmly in place and no room for increases, your investment is bleeding money. It's like watching your ship slowly sinking while you're still on board. And the situation is made worse by the other financial burdens that come with property ownership. High interest rates, homeowners association fees, insurance premiums, and property taxes. All these expenses are piling up, and they're not being offset by the rent coming in. In fact, some of these rent-stabilized units are losing money every month, despite having tenants. So, what's the logical step? For many, it's to pull out of the New York City real estate market altogether. Hence, we're seeing a decline in real estate investments in the city that never sleeps. But the ripple effects don't stop there. The city's economic ecosystem is feeling the strain too. There's a significant migration crisis brewing, with many investors packing up and heading for more profitable shores like Miami. The city's skyline may be glittering, but its economic underbelly is starting to show signs of strain. So, what does this mean for the future? Well, it's not just about the investors, the banks, or the hedge funds. It's about the city itself. With the decline in investments, there's less money flowing into the city's economy. Less money for infrastructure, for services, for the things that make New York, well, New York. As we navigate through 2024, one question remains. Can New York City's economy survive this storm?